Hi, everybody, and welcome to Jacqueline Ann Designs. Still working on my studio here, so it's not the best world for filming. I'm still needing to hold my camera with my hand, but that too is making a lot of progress. Over this past week, we really did make a lot of progress. But you're going to see a lot of stuff still around in the video, boxes, things stored in garbage bags, things like that. But man, I really did get a lot of work done this past weekend. So we're getting there. My next step will be getting my sewing table set up and all of that area for filming, along with my craft table. So we're making progress, excuse me. I'm still doing a lot of organizing, and that's going to take a while. You know, when you're in a tiny space, and I live in a little tiny casita that I am so grateful for and enjoying, actually, and the challenge of trying to make it look a little homey. At some point, when I get it organized, I'll show you what it looks like. And then after that, you'll be able to follow me on how I end up decorating it and different things, trying to make it look homey. So that'll be an ongoing project on my personal channel, not on this channel. But anyway, so for today, I wanted to let you know I broke my no spend. And I'll explain what happened and why I did it here in a little bit. But I'm not going to lie, there was some definite impulse buying there. But first of all, I wanted to show you a couple things. And the first thing is this week's Friday. This past Friday, I went over to one of my relative and neighbor's house. She's my neighbor, but she's also a relative. And we did our weekly Bible journal. And we're hoping to do that once a week. We'll see. There might be weeks where we don't get to do it together, but I will still do mine separately. And this week I journaled Genesis 1:1. And in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. And we all know that no matter when you think this happened or what your belief structure is, as Christians, we all agree it happened. Therefore, it's something that holds us together, is that we know that in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. I just wanted to share that with you. This is all traced. I did not freehand draw any of this week's picture. I did use a light box, and I did have a little time of visualizing some of the stuff on there, but I think the pictures turned out pretty good nonetheless. And we'll see how this next Friday's comes out. Now, the other thing I wanted to show you is something that was gifted to me for Christmas by my sister. And you've seen these little metal toolboxes. And they're kind of a small mini version of the big giant ones that a lot of people have in their garages. And my sister found this one that didn't have a brand name on it. And so she was able to take this and decorate it to match my brother's sewing machine. Yeah, it's brother, but I mean, it's so traditional to have the Singer. I just love it. And I have a Singer Featherweight. So for me, this is like a double perfect. But I wanted to show it to you. It's the real traditional Singer designs. She ordered these from these decorations, that you use on the outside, the stickers, from the Featherweight shop. So you can Google the Featherweight shop online if you want to do something like this. They're in the mid $20 range, and then I don't know what the box cost her. But anyway, so here's this. See, it's very, very traditional. There and on the side. And you can store, I think, I keep changing my mind what I'm going to put in this. When I first got it, I thought, oh, I'll store all my Singer feet. But I kind of like having my Featherweight feet in their antique boxes. So I'm not certain what I'm going to put in here yet. But it'll go on my sewing table, and it's going to definitely have something in it. So there's that. Now I wanted to go through my haul with you. So hold on one second. And impulsively bought. There were some things I actually needed. One second while I get this here. So there were some things I actually needed, and then some things that I wanted. I went on to Amazon. My fingers, what I went on there for and decided I would go ahead and order was because my fingers were getting so darn sore from stitching. And I had heard about, first, these little thimblets. You put them, they're little adhesive things that you put on the ends of your fingers. I haven't tried them yet. I'm not even certain what they're made out of. They're from Colonial, and they're called a Thimblette. You apply one stick pad. It makes project easier and more comfortable. Apply one stick pad to each working fingertip and enjoy hours of stitching pleasure. And apparently you can use them multiple times according to the reviewers on Amazon. And then I also ordered this. It's called the Ultra Thimble. So it's just like the top. If you look at it, I haven't tried it yet. I'll let you guys know in a review what I think about it. But it's the very top of a thimble, and then you put this sticky thing on it, and you put that on the pad of your hand. Protects upper or underhand, helps control the needle. It's comfortable and secure. And I like my Clover silicone thimble that has a top like this. I think I talked about that in another video. I will do a review video on it at some point. And you do need, if you use that silicone one, they make it in different sizes. And if you use more than one thimble, you may find that you need to get more than one thimble size of the Clover. This one will fit every finger size, and that's one of the reasons I wanted to try it. Now, you do have to use these little sticking things, but my understanding is that you use that several times, multiple times. And people that I've talked to that do this similar stitching like I do have told me they really like this. Plus, it's got the little ridge around there to keep your needle from slipping so much. And I did also get some replacement stickies for it. And here's where it really started getting into impulse buying, is I have on my list of to-dos for 2025 to do the Lori Holt Hometown Quilt. And the so-called pattern is free. It's available in various different places. I downloaded it off of the Lori Holt vlog, which you can access by going to the, there's links to it underneath all of her videos. If you go to Lori Holt's YouTube channel, there's links to that vlog underneath all of those videos. But you do have to purchase her So Simple shapes, which are basically applique templates. And you can use them for other projects, not just the hometown quilt. But it's 63 different acrylic or thin plastic, I guess, templates. And I haven't used them yet, but a lot of her quilts, applique quilts, that's what she does. And then I wanted to get some of this hot iron transfer system. So because I have been wanting to draw some of my own transfer patterns. And Christine, and I'll put a link to her channel below, has found an antique vintage book. And I love that style of embroidery. You know, it's the style that I grew up doing, and I just love it. And here's how you can use those. And she found it, and you can download for free all the pages of that book, which was a lot of patterns. So what I figured I would do is download them, and then transfer them, and on using this tracing paper. I mean, you can do it on the original pictures that you print out. And I have other tracing paper. It doesn't have to be the tracing paper that came with this set. But the thing here was the pencils. And by the way, I discovered when I was in Joann's the other day, because you know Joann's is closing out, one of the things they had in there were these pencils. I had never seen them in there before. So I ordered mine from Amazon. But it's you can create your own embroidery patterns and then hot iron the pattern onto your fabric and iron it. And so that's what I got this for, was to do that. And then something else I ordered because I gave my niece my boxes of these little clippies. And they're not the Clover brand. This is just a generic brand. But I use a lot of them. And so I ordered that. I actually ordered 2 boxes. One for this to keep with my sewing table. And one to keep in my my sewing. It's the bag that you put your sewing machine in to cart it around to classes and things. So I got one to keep in there to take to classes with me. Now the next thing I want to show you is my collagequilter.com haul, and it's just really some patterns that I got that are I do a lot from there. Of collage quilting. I love Emily's site. I love her work. I love her patterns. I'm a huge fan. And I downloaded some patterns that I had been wanting to download from her site. Her PDF patterns are, I believe they're all $15. She has some that are big quilts that I think are a little bit more. But anyway, so these are all fabric collage, and I ordered, you go to collagequilter.com, and you can, that's her website. And she just opened a brand new fabric shop on there. And the neat thing about her fabrics is that she has curated her fabric collection for fabric collage. And she will sell you all the way down to 1/8 of a yard. Even though she's shipping, she will send it down. And if you get your order up to $50, which would be a lot of that fabric if you ordered only 1/8 of a yard, I think most of it I would have a tendency to order a 1/2 a yard, just to keep my color collection up for the collage. But you can see this is just gorgeous. And so I ordered that, and I can't show you the pattern, that's copyright, the actual pattern, that's copyrighted. But in her patterns, it's really neat because she shows you in her pattern to do the collage, it'll show you the high tones, the low tones, the mid tones, you know, all the different tones to use to create your collage. And then and they're quite large. Like this one is an 18 by 24 inch quilt. So you're going to do machine thread paint it and quilt it and all of that. And you make a wall hanging out of it. Or you can actually make pillows out of them. A lot of people do that. This one's quite large. It would be more than a pillow. But this is her, it's called her, once again, by Emily Taylor at collagequilter.com. And it's called her Clementine. So it's a little clementine tree in a blue Cloisonne vase. And you're going to do your entire background with this one. Like this one has got fabric panels down. See, this one is the background is all entirely collaged. So there's that one. And like I say, it's quite large. It's a large wall hanging. This is a wall hanging as well. It also makes a pretty pillow, a larger pillow, 18 by 24, and it's called June Bloom. And this one, I don't know if she actually published this one in 2020 or if it was published later, but you can see it's florals. You can see all the small pieces of fabric she uses. And you too can succeed at this. Now this one is a multi-use pattern. I don't particularly care for this arrangement on here, but there's more to this pattern that meets the eye. All these individual parts. Okay, the dragonflies, these flowers, the squirrel. There's also, that's not pictured in this particular composition, is a bunny rabbit in there. See, there's very small squirrels, acorns, mushrooms. You can even add your other, if you downloaded the free mushroom pattern. But there's different kinds of flowers, different kinds of leaves. And in my mind, you use these different components for different things. So that was my download, my haul from, and they're PDF files from collagequilter.com. Let me just put this in front of you here. And let me get my last little bit. And I'll be done. Okay, so let's put this up here. And I went to one of my local craft shops, and some of this stuff I got in one craft shop, and quilt shop, and some of it I got in another. So from the knotted thread, I got some Valencia. Anyway, I got some, let me get it out. Some pearl cotton thread by Valdani. What it is I've been interested in Sashiko, and they had this little, I think they might have had a little class up here at some point, and these were some of the supplies that they had left over. But this is just a practice Sashiko piece. And so I want to get some blue thread for it. But in the meanwhile, I have another blue piece. And so I went ahead and she had white Sashiko thread, but I wanted a more natural. So she showed me a comparison while I was in there. And she compared the Sashiko to the Valdani pearl cotton, number 8 pearl cotton. And she showed me it looks almost exactly the same. She couldn't really detect. Now maybe I guess somebody really into Sashiko could tell the difference, but she said she really could not tell the difference on the sewn piece between the Valdani number 8 pearl cotton, because the Valdani is expensive. It's like $5.99 for one of these little balls. I'm wondering how much is on one of these. Going to be in meters but anyway, I don't know how much is on one of these little balls. They do last a while, but they're not as big as some of the less expensive brands. But the thing is, they have a natural dye process, and that's what makes this brand so attractive to people. I don't think the actual quality of, and sorry, Valdani fans, I don't want to make you mad at me or anything. I don't think the actual quality of the thread is much different than anybody else's, but the dye quality is beautiful. And the fact that it's a matte thread. A lot of the pearl cotton threads have a shinier effect when you sew with them. And this one does not. It's totally matte. And so that's the thing about the Valdani threads. So what I did is I also have some blue fabric that I've been assigned to do, and I'm going to use this on the blue. And then I have some blue Valdani in my stash, number 8 pearl cotton, and that's what I'm going to do this project with. So I did get this Valdani thread. I got the Sashiko, what do they call this? Sampler panel. But it really only has this in it. It's not one of the big panels you can get. Then it was another thing about my fingers getting sore. I got a packet of 2 of these Chia glue things needle grabbers, where you pull on the needle to pull it out. And on the piece that I've been practicing my quote-unquote Sashiko, really I'm not practicing so much Sashiko as I'm trying to practice keeping my stitch lengths and direction straight before I get started on any of the actual Sashiko projects, because that's a problem with me. I need to work on my stitching. That's one of my goals in 2025. And then my niece was with me, and her grandmother, my mother, loved a crazy patch. And even though you really don't need a pattern to do crazy patch, we did go ahead and pick up this crazy patch pincushion pattern. And it's done by Under the Garden Moon, and it is gorgeous. I can see why my niece fell in love with it. So I did get this, and maybe, I don't know, her and I have so many projects, and I going that I don't know if I can keep her interested in this type of thing as much as she at this moment in time, but for the future. But in the meanwhile, I'll probably do several of these. I collect pincushions. So now another place that we went is a little fabric shop here in Amarillo, Texas. And by the way, the Knotted Thread, you can go online and find them. You can shop in their online store. They have some beautiful, beautiful, especially wool patterns in their store, if you're into wool. But they have other things as well. But the wool patterns is really cool. And but anyway, I was at Quilt Winks, and I went through their remnant section. And I'm going to be doing it's another collage quilter pattern with and I'm going to be doing one with a horse, and I needed some blacks. The reason I got these is this piece here is I was thinking about the horse nostrils in the collage. I don't know if that'll actually work or not, but believe it or not, those 2 dots on this is why I bought this remnant. And plus I'll use the flowers. This, for me, is a very useful remnant in a lot of ways. So I did go ahead and get that. And then the rest of these are just browns and blacks that have texture on them that I think I'll be able to use in the collage. See the texture on this. So, and I think this is a full fat quarter, actually. Yeah, I may have purchased a full fat quarter of that. I think several of these are. And then parts of the horse are so dark that it looks black, so you're going to see some of that. But see the texture on this? I think this will work well. And I've got more fabrics that I'm going to use as well that have some little prints on them and things like that. But this is what I found there that I think would work well. So I think this is a full fat quarter as well. It's that kind of, I don't know if this is one of those grunge fabrics or not. Let me see if there's the selvage says on it what it is. No, I don't think I got a part of that selvage. That, you know how the selvage usually says if it's one of the grunge fabrics or not, but that's what it looks like, huh? And then here, this is like a fat 1/8, but this was in their remnant section. So I got that also for the horse, for the different tones. You can see this is obviously for that muscle in the back of him that's so dark looking. So I got that. And I don't know if I want to use just a plain black anywhere. It has no texture there, but I did get it in case. One, it was a really inexpensive remnant, some black quilt cotton, and I did get it just in case. And then this was in the remnant section as well. And it's black with some gold, like spider webby almost looking thing. It's Illusions by Whisper Studios, and I'll bet you Whisper Studios pattern number. So it doesn't say the name of the designer, but it's Wyndham Fabrics. So if you were looking for something like that and you wanted a larger piece than just this remnant, there you go. Okay, now these are something that I actually ordered off of Amazon, but since then I have discovered this company has their own website, and I haven't tried stitching any of them up yet, but I did. What happens when you order these off of Amazon, you buy 2 of their patterns, and then they will send you a 3rd one for free. It's an American company, and these are all, it's called Arenco Originals, for the Artful Needleworker. And these are different William Morris's designs. And so you can see this one is going to be on Aida fabric, 14. It's designed for 14 count. So, and it's a solid coverage, so you could really, even though that's why it's giving you, but you could really pick any color of Aida that you had that was the 14 count. And I don't have the fabric to start on that yet, because I'll show you what I'm talking about in a minute. I don't have anything that I want to use. Well, I may have actually, yes. And then this one, I purchased this one. Same thing for Arenco Originals for the Artful Needleworker. And this one is also William Morris, the Birds and Acanthus Vine. And it's also designed for Aida Fabric 14 count. And then they sent me as a thank you gift this pattern here. This is another William Morris. I didn't know they were going to send it, but I love it. And if you go on their website, what I figured out is if you just go directly to the Orenco originals.com, there's their web address. If you go directly there and buy your pattern from them directly, they actually have better prices than on Amazon. And they also have almost everything on their site. Not everything have they converted into a PDF yet, but an awful lot of it they have. But any patterns that you buy on their website, you're going to get every third pattern for free. Or, well, yeah, every third pattern for free. So you order 2 patterns, get a third one free. Whether it's PDF or, and they look like they're going to stitch up fine. They are all black and white patterns. They're not color patterns, but they look like they're going to stitch up just fine. And so I'm really looking forward to it. And as I said, this is a free one. And I did go on their line, on their website, and ordered some, a total of 6 more patterns. And I got 2 of them free. And they're not all William Morris, but I'm really into William Morris right now. I haven't stitched one yet, but in my brain, I'm really into William Morris. I just love it. And so hopefully after I've done this investment, but their PDF, were having a sale on their site, and everything was a significant amount cheaper than it was on Amazon. And, you know, there's no shipping when you do the PDF ones. Yeah, you have to print them up, but you basically get the same thing here. You just print it up yourself. Their patterns, they're printing it up and sending it to you. So you're going to have the shipping expense. So it's, yeah, because what it is they printed some nice quality paper that they printed on. I will say that. But you know, it's a pattern. I can print it on my regular quality of paper. It doesn't have to be on this nice of a paper. And then I stitch it. And so I just haven't been able to print them out yet. And also, if you really like Japanese, my sister was born in Japan. We lived in Japan. When I was little, I've gotten to make a trip to Japan. And I love some Asian art. I'm not into dragons and things like that. But I love a lot of the Japanese art, the antique Japanese artwork. And they have got tons of it that you can stitch on their site. Amongst other things, there's a lot of artist works on there. But I do recommend checking that out. And there was one other artist that I went onto her Etsy site and ordered several PDFs from. I'm going to talk about those in a different video. And share her YouTube channel and everything like that. So that's going to be a separate video. But for now, that's that. Now, you guys may have remembered from one of my previous videos, my 2025 plans. This is my plan. What is to do a big, huge project of this sampler. It's a big, huge project for me. It is Peacock Sampler from TwinPeakPrimitives.com, recommending that you stitch this up on Aida 14 count oatmeal rustico. But the original sample was stitched on 25 count Zweigart Lugana by Banu Karakaya with 2 strands over 2. I had been really hesitating about doing any kind of, because of my eyes. Well, I went to the Joann's sale thinking specifically about this. And, you know, their prices were not marked down tremendously. I'm going to tell you that right off. I think these were 20% off. But I was looking at the weave on this 28 count Carolina linen, it says, from DMC. And I think I could do that. Now, that would create a smaller piece than the 25 count would. But it's not big enough. Yeah, it's got to be 61.5 by 50. Well, that's centimeters though, right? They don't say. But I mean, it's 339 by 286 stitches. Oh, yeah, see, that's in centimeters. So, this one, it's still not big enough. This one is 38.1 by 47.5. Well, so much for that idea. I'm not going to be able... I'm going to start a sampler on this. I bought that gift of stitching magazine. There's a bunch of samplers in there. I am going to find a sampler so that I can see if I can do this or not. I'm going to find one to fit it. Here in where I live, I've had a dickens of a time being able to visually find any of these wovens to see. I mean, there's tons of Aida craft around. But I haven't been able to find any woven to see if I thought I could do it. And I saw this and I said, I think with the right needle, I could do this. So I'm going to find one of those samplers. That magazine, there are so many samplers in there, it's something. And I'm going to try it. Guess it won't be this one, because this fabric is just, see the difference in the two sizes of the fabric. Now, I know that I would need a smaller fabric for the 28 count versus the 14 count. So, I don't know how that converts over to do the measurement. So I may do some research, because this one does not say. Okay, so this person did it on 25 count, but it does not say if that takes a different amount of fabric. And to a newbie like me, that's an important piece of information. So I don't know. The closest thing I did get, and like I said, at Joann's, they had almost none of this left, despite the fact that their prices weren't that great. Literally, they had smaller ones left, but these were the biggest ones that they had. They had one that was really huge piece, but there was one of them left, and somebody had taken it out of the package, and there were fingerprints all over the fabric. And I just decided I wasn't going to get it. But, so I don't know. I think that particular one is out of the question. But I did get this. This is DMC Charles Craft Silver Standard. It's a 14 count Aida cross stitch fabric. And it's 15 by 18 inches. So I know I've got projects waiting in the wings. I can try that on. I'm going to do something on this. For my own self, I want to see if I can do it. So there's that. And then that color, I guess they're calling the color Carolina linen. I don't know, because it's not naming any other color there. But neither is this one. There's no name of the color on the packaging. Oh, here it says oatmeal. Okay, and on this one, the Carolina is calling it sand sable. It's on the back. Okay, and then I also got this 15 by 18 piece of the Aida fabric, 16 count. And this one is just natural. And I've got projects in the wings I can use all of this for. And like I say, it wasn't that low of a price, but the Joann's in our community, one of the ultra few places to find this. I had just been over to Hobby Lobby the day before, and all they had was the folded small pieces. So I've got to figure out what I like when it comes to this stuff, what I think I'm able to do. And because if you look online, it's expensive. And not that this was all that cheap, you know, it wasn't. But I can at least just get one piece. And I know the count on this. It's 28 count. I seriously doubt if I could go any smaller holes than this until I have my eye surgery. But, you know, this would give me a way to branch out into away from the Aida cloth and to try it. But I honestly think I can do that. Because, I mean, just with my naked eye, I can see all of just as well as I can on the Aida cloth. So I've got to figure out some of the terminology. What is the 2/2, you know, all of that stuff. Now, the other thing I got at Joann's, and once again, it was not that low of a price. The place everybody was filling their carts in there. And I think in our community, it's strictly because it's one of the only places. We have a Hobby Lobby whose fabric section is so small. The store is almost all, other than the craft section, is ranked down. I mean down. There's not, to me, I'm sad to see that happening to the craft section at Hobby Lobby. And of course now with Joann's closing. But I will say that Hobby Lobby has upped its game on the DMC thread. They don't have any other types of threads, and other than DMC, and then some Hobby Lobby brand of threads, which I have some of those in the pearl cottons. I'm not unhappy with them, but there is a difference in the way they look. You know, you can tell there's a difference. But they now have a whole wall of the pearl cottons. Instead of being in the little balls like this, they're DMC pearl cottons that used to always be in a little ball similar to this. They're now hanging on the wall like a regular, you know, like when you buy DMC, regular DMC. So they have it up there with their silks and their wools hanging on the wall now. So they have upped their game on their fabric, on their threads. But that's the only brand that they have is DMC. Now I bought this. It's a lightweight interfacing, and I got it because I want to use the Lori Holt applique technique. And I'll go into that in another video. She also goes into it on a video in her channel. On several videos, actually. If you go to any of her newer videos where she discusses how to do her applique quilts, like what she'll do now on her applique quilts is she will do a video on the first block. And she almost always shows you how to do that technique in those videos. And so I want to try this on my Hatch and Patch one, that I've been working on, quilt that I've been working on. So if you're interested in that, look for the videos on that Hatch and Patch quilt. And I'm going to try this to do that applique, because that turn applique, I'm not liking it at all. I love the applique process other than that. And so maybe if my stitching were better, I wouldn't have any problems with it. But and this is what she does, and I'll show you. She uses interfacing. Now she uses her own, but of course I don't have that available to me at the store, and I didn't want to wait for an order to come in. So while we were at Joann's, I just went ahead and grabbed that. So there's where I broke my my no-buy, and probably the most expensive thing I got were these embroidery cloths. And I would also say the pattern for this was probably, yeah, 12, and then this Sashiko pattern from the knotted thread. Probably those were those, and then the yeah, I mean, if you, the whole, I guess everything adds up to quite a bit that I got, actually, because the Collage Quilters pattern, PDF patterns, were all $15. These were, I think, $10, except for the free one. So, and these fabrics, like I say, were all $2 to $3 per piece. I think some of them were $1. Yeah, some of them were just $1. So, but anyway, so that's my haul and my last Friday's Bible journaling project, where I went to do that with a family member. And I'm going to definitely need to edit this, all this moving around. But we will see you guys later. Bye-bye.